Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for the Week 17 NFL slate. We're going to break down 3 plays I like for the Sunday slate of games. As always guys, before we do talk through these plays, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos and if they do help you out, make sure to hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button as well, and if you guys are new to the channel and if you are new to Prizepicks, be sure to go sign up for Prizepicks. Use promo code NOAH when you sign up, and when you place your first lineup, you'll get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account. Cool promotion Prizepicks is doing for new users. Again, you get access to that when you do sign up with code NOAH. So make sure to go check out Prizepicks. Also, I do want to shout out Sleeper because we do have a partnership with Sleeper as well. You guys can sign up for Sleeper. Use promo code NOAH over there. Get access to their new promo. Play $5, get $55. This replaces their 100% deposit match bonus that they used to do, where you put in 100, they'd give you an additional 100 to play with. Well, now you don't have to deposit, a bunch of money to get a big bonus. You can deposit $25, which is the minimum on Sleeper, and still get that $55 bonus. You play a $5 lineup, and then you get $55 worth of free lineups. So make sure to go check out Sleeper, guys. Download their app either on the App Store or Google Play Store. They have an app for both iPhone and Android. Download the app, sign up, use code NOAH, get access to that cool promo over on Sleeper. They are running for all new users. But we got 3 player props to talk about for this Week 17 NFL slate. It is a little bit of a smaller slate this week. We did have a lot. I think we had 3 games on Saturday, which obviously we're not going to really discuss those. 2 of the games have already started. We still have 1 game not yet to start on Saturday. And then we had Thursday night football. So I think it's 8 or 9 games on Sunday. A little bit of a smaller slate than what we're used to. I've still got 3 props, though, that I do like that we're going to discuss and talk about in this video. So the first prop that I like for Sunday is going to be a rush plus receiving yards prop. And I like Breece Hall for more than 73.5 rush plus receiving yards. So Breece Hall, we saw get injured a few weeks ago. And in his first game back from injury, he was pretty limited. So he got injured. I think he missed a game. And then he came back against Jacksonville. Against Jacksonville, he had 9 carries for 30 yards and had 2 catches for 21 yards. Not what we would normally expect from Breece Hall in terms of workload. Because if you look at the beginning of the season, Breece Hall was getting a huge workload. He was basically getting like 20 touches every game, 15 to 16 carries, 5 to 6 targets. The volume was really good for Breece Hall. Then he came back from injury, was kind of limited. But then last week, we saw him get back to a normal workload against the Rams. He had 14 carries for 52 yards, also had 6 targets, 5 catches for 38 yards. The Jets, they will use Breece Hall not only on the ground, but also as a pass catcher. Breece Hall's been really good in the pass game this year, has 53 catches, 460 yards as a receiver. And that's kind of why I like his rush plus receiving yards this week. Not to mention, this is a good matchup against Buffalo, who have been very vulnerable to pass-catching running backs. Pass-catching running backs have had a lot of success against this Buffalo team. Buffalo is giving up the most receiving yards and the second most receptions to running backs this season. So this does feel like a spot where Breece Hall probably gets good usage in the passing game. The Jets, they're underdogs in this game, so they're probably going to be forced to throw here. I don't mind taking Breece Hall over 23.5 receiving yards as well, but I do like his rush plus receiving just because Breece Hall is a really good runner. He's obviously a guy that can break off long runs, can give you plenty of rush yards. You look lately, he's been consistently getting like 50 plus rush yards a game. And if he gets like 10 to 12 carries, I think he's got a pretty good chance at probably like 45 to 50 yards, not to mention whatever he adds on as a receiver. His rush attempts line is set at 12. So if we get 12 carries from Breece Hall, probably good to get at least like 40 to 50 yards on the ground. And then again, as a receiver, I think this is a really good spot for Breece Hall to be involved in the passing game, just with how much Buffalo has struggled against pass-catching running backs this season. And you look at Breece Hall's snap share, he's been back to normal in terms of snaps as well. Like he only played 48% of snaps in his first game back, but then last week got back up to 77% of the snaps. And when Breece Hall was healthy earlier this season, he was consistently playing like 70 to 80% of the snaps most weeks. The Jets used him like that last week. I assume they're going to use him like that again here. And even though the Jets have nothing to play for, it looks like they're still going to give Breece Hall a big workload like they did last week. So I like him for more than 73.5 rush plus receiving yards. Looking at DraftKings Sportsbook, their rush plus receiving yards line on Breece Hall is set at 77.5. So I think we are getting a little bit of a shorter line, a softer line here on Prizepicks. Like that as our first prop for Sunday. And then the next prop that I like, actually the two props I like here are going to be a correlated stack. So I like Kenny Pickett for more than 187.5 pass plus rush yards. And I like pairing that with A.J. Brown for more than 65.5 receiving yards. So these two props, directly correlate. If Kenny Pickett has 188 pass plus rush yards, it's pretty likely that A.J. Brown also gets 66 receiving yards. You look at last week, obviously Kenny Pickett didn't play the whole game, but he came in, kind of early in that game. I want to say he came in when there was like 9 minutes left in the first quarter. So he basically played the whole game last week, and A.J. Brown was heavily targeted by Kenny Pickett last week. Last week, A.J. Brown had 15 targets, 8 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown. Kenny Pickett, we obviously haven't seen a lot from him because he's just been backing up Jalen Hurts all season, but he's going to get the start on Sunday with Jalen Hurts out. And we have a track record of Kenny Pickett like not being a terrible quarterback. Now, is Kenny Pickett a great quarterback? Probably not. But is he a good backup, a decent backup? I think so. I think this is a good matchup for him and a good spot for him playing at home against a Cowboys team that's pretty much mailed it in on the season. Like, this is definitely a spot where I think Kenny Pickett should have success. And you look at the Cowboys this year, they've been giving up plenty of yards through the air. Really, to quarterbacks and to running backs. I mean, the Cowboys' defense has just been pretty terrible overall this season. But in terms of what they've given up to quarterbacks, I mean, they're close to top 10 in pass yards allowed to quarterbacks this season. And also, the Cowboys have really struggled against running quarterbacks. They're giving up the second most rush yards to quarterbacks. I'm not saying that Kenny Pickett is anywhere near the same type of runner that Jalen Hurts is. But if you do look at last week, Kenny Pickett did have 13 rush yards on 3 attempts. I think he does offer a little bit of rushing upside, can maybe give you like 15, 20 yards on the ground. And if you just look, I mean, his pass yards prop is set at 180.5. His rush yards prop is set at set at 12.5. You add those two together, that's 193. His line on Prizepicks, his pass plus rush yards line is set at 187. So I think this line should probably be like 192, 193. I think we are getting a little bit of a discount here on Prizepicks. I like the matchup for Kenny Pickett. It's always tough, kind of betting on these guys that haven't really played much this season. But I think Kenny Pickett looked decent last week, when he took over for Jalen Hurts. He threw for 143 yards, also added on 13 rush yards. That was in a matchup against Washington, which definitely is a tougher matchup than this one. This is a pretty good matchup for Pickett. Again, facing a Cowboys team that is pretty much melded in on the season, doesn't really have much to play for. And I think the Eagles, I mean, they still need to get wins if they want to lock up the division. I don't think they've locked up their division yet. I think they're still competing with Washington for the division. So the Eagles need to win some games. They still have something to play for. I think Kenny Pickett's going to be able to kind of have his way in this matchup. And you look at like Prizepicks pass attempts line on Pickett. I mean, they're projecting him for 27 pass attempts. So if he comes close to 27 pass attempts, I think he probably throws for like 175, 180 yards and then adds on maybe 10 to 15 yards on the ground. Like this spot for Pickett a lot. Like him for more than 187.5 pass plus rush yards. I think we're getting a little bit of value on this line. DraftKings actually has his line set at 190.5. I think that's where this line should be, is like 192. I think 187 on Prizepicks does look a little bit low. And then again, I like correlating that with A.J. Brown over 65.5 receiving yards. Like I said, if Pickett goes over, I think it's pretty likely that Brown goes over. And the good thing about playing these three props together, you still get the normal 5x payout. Now, normally, I don't like playing 3-pick lineups on Prizepicks because 5x is not great compared to other sites. There's a lot of other sites out there that give you 6x for 3-pick lineups, but when you have a correlated stack, that definitely changes things. That makes the value of this lineup look a lot better and probably be worth a 5x payout. So correlating these two props together for 5x, I'm totally fine doing. And again, I think if Pickett goes over, Brown goes over. You look at what Brown did last week, got a ton of targets from Kenny Pickett. I think Brown, even with Pickett under center, is still a guy that probably projects for like 75 to 80 yards. I think the market has undervalued a little bit these Eagles receivers. But Jalen Hurts, obviously he's a better quarterback than Kenny Pickett, but Jalen Hurts' strong suit has never really been his passing. Like, he's always been much better as a running quarterback. Kenny Pickett's not the same running quarterback that Hurts is, so when Pickett drops back to throw, you're probably going to see him throwing and not scrambling as much as Jalen Hurts would. Also, you're not going to see as many design runs called for the quarterbacks because Pickett's just not going to have those type of design runs like Jalen Hurts would. So there's definitely a chance we see Philadelphia have a little bit more pass plays than they normally would, even with their backup quarterback just because their backup quarterback is more of a passer, whereas Hurts is kind of more of a running quarterback. So there's a lot of reasons that I think this Pickett over looks good, and I do like correlating it with A.J. Brown, who I think if he goes over, it's pretty likely that Brown goes over. And also on DraftKings Sportsbook, Brown's receiving yards line is set at 69.5. On Prizepicks, we're getting the line at 65.5. So that's what I like, guys, is our 3 props for the Sunday NFL slate. Breece Hall, we're going to take for more than 73.5 rush plus receiving yards. Kenny Pickett, we're going to take for more than 187.5 pass plus rush yards. And A.J. Brown, we're going to play for more than 65.5 receiving yards. Again, those 2 Eagles players directly correlate. So if one of them goes over, I think it's pretty likely the other goes over, whether it be Pickett, Brown. If Pickett goes over, I think Brown goes over. And if Brown has 66 yards, pretty likely that Pickett's going to have 188 pass plus rush yards. There are scenarios where one of them hits and one of them doesn't, but I think more times than not, either both these hit or neither one of them do. So that's why you kind of play for the correlation there. But yeah, guys, appreciate you watching these Prizepicks videos. As always, make sure to hit that like button down below if you do enjoy these videos. Hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks, and if you don't have a Prizepicks account, be sure to sign up. Use that promo code NOAH. And when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code and place your first lineup, you'll get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account. Be sure to check out Prizepicks if you have not yet. But good luck as always, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.